In this lecture, we will study about types of belt drives and their introduction. I am Dr. Ashish Vikar, and here I am going to explain particularly the types of belts. As we know, the belts are used for power transmission, and in case of belt drives, there are two basic types. One is called as a flat belt drive. So this picture is for flat belt drive, and this picture is for V belt drive. This is for V belt. By this picture you can differentiate between these two types. You will see that this belt which is mounted on the driven and the driver pulley is of flat nature, while in case of this picture you will see that these are the V belts mounted on the driver and the driven pulley, and for that purpose these slots are made on the pulley, and you will see that the cross section of such type of belt is different than the cross section of whatever the belt is there, which is called as a flat belt. So cross section of flat belt is different than the cross section of the V belt, and for operating the V belt we require the special arrangement for the pulley. So let us see regarding the types of belt drives. As we know, this is the belt drive. So belt drives are the type of frictional drive used for transmitting power from one shaft to another by means of pulleys which rotate at the same speed or at the different speed. So this we have seen in the last lecture. After that, let us see what are the basic types of the belt. There are three basic types of the belt. One is called flat belt, second one is called V belt, and third one is called as circular belt. This is also called as a rope belt. So circular belt is also called as a rope belt. So basically these are the three types of belts. By this figure, by this particular sketch, we can differentiate between the flat belt, V belt, and circular or rope belt. You will see this figure number A is for flat belt, is having a rectangular cross section type of nature of the belt. Whatever the lower part you will see, that is nothing but the pulley, and that on that pulley this cross section in the rectangular form, and this is nothing but the flat belt. You will see the V belt here mounted on this pulley. So V belt is mounted on this pulley which is having one slot, and the nature of cross section of V belt is like a V shape. That's why it is called as a V belt. And another cross section is circular belt. Cross section is there, circular belt, and see the nature of the pulley here. Again, for such type of arrangement we have to make a slot for keeping that type of belt inside the pulley. So it is having a circular cross section, that's why it is called rope belt. It is having a V type of cross section, that's why it is called V belt. And here in this case a rectangular cross section is there for the flat belt. So flat belt, this belt has a rectangular cross section. Rectangular cross section is there for the flat belt. The flat belt is mostly used in factories and workshops. So flat belt, where is the application of flat belts? We will find the application of flat belt in factories and workshop. And what is the condition? Where a moderate amount of power is to be transmitted from one pulley to another pulley when the two pulleys are not more than 10 meter apart. So two pulleys are not more than 10 meter apart. Not more than 10 meter apart. This is the condition given for the flat belt application, and the efficiency of this drive is around 98%, and it produces little noise. So very little noise is produced in case of flat belt. So let us see regarding V belt. So V belt is mostly used where a great amount of power is to be transmitted. See, in the last flat belt we have seen the moderate power is transmitted. The moderate power is to be transmitted by the flat belt, but in case of V belt, if we want to transmit great amount of power, then we have to use V belt. And what is the condition? When the two pulleys are very much near to each other. So pulleys should be very much near to each other. That is the condition when you want to apply the application of V belt. Last belt is nothing but circular belt. Circular belt is also called as a rope belt. So circular belt or rope belt is mostly used where a great amount of power is to be transmitted from one pulley to another when the two pulleys are more than 5 meter apart. This is the condition given for belt drive, that is called as a circular belt drive or rope drive, and the pulleys are more than 5 meter apart, then we can use the rope drive. So these pictures, three pictures you will see, one is nothing but the picture for flat belt drive, another picture is nothing but for a V belt drive, and another picture is called as a circular or rope drive or a rope drive. So these are the basic types of belt drive or belts, basic types of belts. First is nothing but flat belt, V belt, and third one is a rope belt. But if you want to classify belt drives, then there are 5 types. One is called as open belt drive, second one is called as a cross belt drive, third one is called as stepped cone pulley or speed cone drive, fast and loose pulley drive, jockey pulley drive. So these are nothing but the 5 types of belt drives, not belts, these are the drives. So this is the classification of belt drives. Let us see one by one. First is nothing but open belt drive. As you can see, open nature. First is called as a drive shaft. This is called as a driven pulley, which is mounted on the driven shaft. This is called as a drive shaft, which is having the driver pulley. So on the periphery of these pulleys, the belt is there, and this way if we see the nature, this is nothing but the side view, and this is nothing but the top view. This is the top view, and this is nothing but the side view. So in these types of belt view, the belt is employing when two parallel shafts have to rotate in the same direction. Both of these shafts, this shaft and this shaft, is going to rotate in one direction because of the open belt drive. When the shafts are far apart, the lower side of the belt should be tight side and the upper side must be the slack side. So this is the slack side and this is the tight side, and the direction of motion of this belt is like this. And because of that, when the upper side becomes the slack side, it will sag due to its own weight and thus increases the arc of contact. So sag, this is called as a sag, is created in case of slack side, but there is no sag. This is a somewhat straight tight side. So the sag is created because of the weight of the belt. So this way we can learn here how is the belt drive operate. Open belt drive is going to operate. Second one is nothing but cross belt drive. You will see that this is nothing but the driver pulley and this is nothing but the driven pulley. And this type of belt drive, what is this? The belt is employing when two parallel shafts have to rotate in opposite direction. In this, the particular type of this cross belt drive, because of the cross belt nature, you will see the cross belt is there. What is happening here? The drive shaft is rotating in clockwise direction, but the driven shaft is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. So the two parallel shafts have to rotate in opposite direction. At the junction where the belt crosses, it rubs against itself. So there is a rubbing action created here, and it creates a wear of the belt. To avoid the excessive wear, the shaft must be placed at a maximum distance from each other and operated at a very low speed. So this way we can have the nature of this cross belt drive. Then stepped or speed or cone pulley drive. You will see that this is the main or driving shaft and this is the driven shaft. On that you will see that the different pulleys are mounted. So this bigger diameter pulley is connected to the smaller diameter pulley by using the belt drive. So that's why it is called stepped or cone pulley drive. This type of belt drive are used when the speed of the driven shaft is to be changed. Because of this arrangement, we will get a different speed. As in case of lathe machine, drilling machine, we require the different speeds. So that's why we can use such type of stepped or speed cone pulley drive. A stepped cone pulley drive pulley is an integral casting having 3 or number of pulleys of different sizes, one adjacent to the other. One set of stepped cone pulley is mounted in reverse on the driven shaft, as an endless belt will be wrapped around one pair of the pulley. By shifting the belt from one pair of the pulley to other, the speed of the driven shaft can be varied. So if you shift the belt from this to this, you will get different speed. If you shift again the belt from this pulley to this, you will get the different speed. So speed variations can be achieved in case of in case of or by the using stepped or speed cone pulley drive. The diameter of the driving and driven pulley is such that the same belt will operate with when the shifted on different pairs of the pulleys. So this is the one of the type. Another type is fast and loose pulley drive. Here you will see additional pulley, loose pulley and fast pulley is there. So what is this? Let us see. This type of belt drives are used when the driven or machine shaft is to be started or stopped whenever desired. So machine shaft is to be started or stopped whenever desired. If you want to stop or the machine shaft whenever desired, then we can use fast and loose pulley drive without interfering with the driving shaft. So driving shaft is going to rotate continuously, but because of the loose pulley and the fast pulley, the driven shaft is not going to rotate. A pulley which is keyed to the machine shaft is called fast pulley. So this fast pulley is nothing but keyed to and run at the same speed as that of the machine shaft. A loose pulley runs freely over the machine shaft. So this loose pulley runs freely over the machine shaft and is incapable of transmitting any power. So fast pulley is keyed to the shaft, but loose pulley is not keyed to the shaft. It is only revolving around that particular shaft and it is incapable of transmitting the power. So only the fast pulley is going to transmit the power. When the driven shaft is required to be stopped, the belt is pushed on to the loose pulley by means of sliding bar having the belt force. So this way this fast and loose pulley is going to work. This is another arrangement which is called as a jockey pulley drive. In an open belt arrangement, if the center distance is small or if the driven pulleys are very small, then the arc of contact of the belt with the driven pulley will be very small, which reduces the tensions in the belt. Or if the required tension of the belt cannot be obtained by other means, an idler pulley called jockey pulley is placed. So here in this particular type of drive, idler pulley or jockey pulley is placed. Here you will see the nature of idler pulley between the driver pulley and the driven pulley. Here again you will see the jockey pulleys which are used. Idler pulley, this is nothing but a driven pulley and this is nothing but a driver pulley, and one belt is continuously mounted on such type of pulley. When increases the arc of the length and thus the tension which resulted in increased power transmission, we can achieve with the help of this idler pulley or jockey pulley more power transmission. So let us differentiate between flat belt drive and V belt drive. Flat belt has a rectangular cross section, while V belt has a trapezoidal cross section or V cross section, where the width is substantially larger than the thickness, but in case of V belt drive, larger side width is almost same with the thickness. Flat belt is jointed, so it produces vibrations and noise. So flat belt drive produces vibration and noise, while V belt is endless. Its operation is smooth and quiet. In case of flat belt drive, only one surface of the belt remains in contact with the pulleys, while in case of V belt drive, two sides surfaces of the belt remain in contact with the pulley. In case of flat belt drive, power transmission capacity of flat belt is comparatively low due to higher chance of slip, but in case of V belt drive, V belt can transmit more power without slip due to increased friction. In case of flat belt drive, it is recommended for long distance power transmission and more motion transmission, but in case of V belt drive, it is preferred for short to medium distance power and motion transmission. In this way, we can differentiate between flat belt and V belt. What is the difference between rope and belt? Flat belt and rope belt. In case of rope belt, rope belts are more suitable for long and center distances between the shaft more than 15 meters, but flat belts are suitable for shorter center distance not more than 15 meter. So in case of rope drive or rope belts, are frictional grip is more. In case of flat belt, frictional grip is less. Rope belts, occurrence of slip is not possible, but in case of belt, occurrence of slip is possible. Rope belts, more transmission is there, more power transmission is there, but here in case of this flat belt, moderate power transmission is there. So this way we can differentiate between rope drive and the flat belt drive. So another classification which we will see between the cross belt drive and the open belt drive on the basis of 4 criteria: velocity ratio, direction of driven pulley, length of the belt drive and application. In case of cross belt drive there is a high velocity ratio, but in case of open belt drive we can have low velocity ratio. In case of cross belt drive, direction of driven pulley is same as a driver pulley, but in case of open belt drive, direction of driven pulley is opposite to the driven pulley. In case of cross belt drive, length of the belt drive is long, while in case of open belt drive, the length of the belt drive is short. Where is the application? Cross belt is having application for large amount of power to be transmitted, when then we can use the cross belt drive. But if you want to apply or less amount of power to be transmitted, then we can have open belt drive. So this way we can differentiate between cross belt and open belt drive. Thank you very much.